Hey everybody, welcome to More Please. Today I will be giving you my take on all the latest and current hot topics. Plus, my friends stop in to talk about how we're pushing through this quarantine. New look, all tea, same Tony. It's time for More Please. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? All right, so you all DM'd me and gave me all the hot topics that you want to hear my take on. So let's get into it. It's time for Tony's Take. All right, so first and foremost, y'all know I love me some reality TV. So I definitely had to dive into this when you all sent this over, wanting my take on the ladies of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, if you all have been following this season, you know that it has been leading up to the fight of all fights between Monique and Candace. Now, I don't know if y'all felt like this, but I had to take a minute before I watched the episode in order to prepare myself for what I was about to see. Like the whole season, it's been hyped up like, ooh, this fight is about to happen. It's about to go down. And right when I was about to press play, I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for it. But of course, my little nosy self was like, I got to get into it. And I did. And you know what? The fight wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it was super intense. Like that was an intense moment. Like Candace was like, oh, you gonna drag me? And Monique slightly drug her across the wine table. I mean, she had the fiercest grip on that wig. Shout out to whoever is Candace's hairstylist who glued, sold, did whatever they needed to do to make sure that wig did not go anywhere, because that wig stayed on and hung on for dear life, like my buttons do sometimes when they go like this. But I was shocked at the whole fight. It happened so quick and it happened so fast that I didn't even know who to be team who. Like a lot of people are like team Monique, team Candace. I'm team, I have no idea what I just saw. I have no idea what just happened. I have no idea what is going on. Like the rest of the ladies, I had to take a minute to digest everything that happened. But I am glad that Monique took accountability for it. And I think my own personal take is that there is more to Monique and what happened. For somebody to get blacked out mad, like I've never been that mad. Like I've been mad, but I've never been like blackout, can't remember mad. And Monique was like, and then I blacked out. Like, girl, she sounded like Velma Kelly on Chicago and didn't know what happened and came to, and all of a sudden she had a fistful of hair. I think that somebody like Monique, who is working all the time and just has so much going on and never unpacks anything. When you keep stuff suppressed like that, like, of course, at some moment you're gonna blow up, and we saw the blow up. But I'm just glad to see that she got the ladies together to talk about her side and from her point of view. I thought Giselle was extra as hell. Like, you did not need security to escort you to this meeting, Giselle. Like, that's you being you and being like free Uncle Ben, like when you showed up to Karen's meeting last year. Like, it was team too much. And the ladies just not feeling Monique, basically. Like, suddenly they feel like she's a liability and she's a threat. And I wouldn't take it that far. Like, I'm like Karen, like, I'm like, you're my friend. I'm going to stick with you through this. I'm glad that you're going to seek help. But I'm also just kind of like, don't put your hands on me, because if you put your hands on me, it's a wrap. Like, she and her is not going for that. But it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this season plays out. I mean, we've had this fight. We got Michael and his indiscretions again. It's like, The Real Housewives of Potomac is really starting to step it up. And I don't know how y'all feel, but like I'm living for it. So we shall see. They did a trailer after the show to show like what was coming up, and it's gonna be a lot. Like we thought that this was a hot mess, but it's about to get real hot messy. So y'all stay tuned. Let me know if you're Team Giselle, Team Monique or Team Candace. I'm like Switzerland. I'm just neutral. I'm going to collect more evidence and more tea, and then I'll decide. But you guys let me know. Tweet me on all social media platforms, DM me, message me at Lounging with Tony, and let me know. All right. So we're going to travel over to Big Brother. As if you all have been watching Big Brother All-Stars, just to let you know, I just got on the Big Brother game. Like they are in season, what is this, like 23? I mean, it's an all-star season, but it's like season 23. I hopped on Celebrity All-Stars 1. That's how late I came. But I am very vested in this Big Brother All-Stars, even though I don't feel like people are making huge moves. Like, if you come to play the game, come to play the game. If you got to get some folks out so that you can win $500,000, get folks out so you can win $500,000. I have made bigger moves for a 4 for $4 at Wendy's. Like, if you're trying to win $500,000, like, don't keep like, I want to pussyfooting around. Like, go ahead and go in for the kill. But the big whoopsie daisy that happened last episode was there was this whole buildup about the triple elimination, and the triple elimination is coming, and don't tell the house guests that we're doing a triple elimination. And then Julie goes to the house guests, and somebody in production forgot to take off triple elimination. So before Julie could reveal the triple elimination, they had already synced it. I'm gonna go ahead and say a prayer to whoever that production person was, because I feel like they had to sign up for EDD as of today. They ain't got no job. They gonna have to collect unemployment because they did a reveal when they weren't supposed to. So peace and blessings to you. Come on over here and join us in the unemployment line. But they did do 3 people that were eliminated. So 3 people had to say bye, Kevin, David, and Danny. I was fine that Kevin is gone. I'm sad that David is gone. Definitely happy that Danny is gone. So we'll see what moves they're going to happen. Big Brother comes on tonight, so I will be watching and hope you will too. Speaking of shows that come on tonight, we have Dancing with the Stars that is on and popping. I am living for all the dances. Like, again, a show that I haven't gotten into. I'm into it now because of quarantine. So I'm tuning in, especially after they announced the cast and they said Carol Baskins from Tiger King was about to cha-cha-cha. So I slid right on over to ABC so I could get my entire life. Unfortunately, she's already eliminated. I mean, y'all know she wasn't gonna make it that far. But I'm living just seeing these celebrities like do their best to try to do the jive and the 2-step and the cha-cha and the tango. But I am rooting for, these are my top 3. My top 3 are Neve, Jeannie Mai, my girl from The Real, and Justina Mikado. I'm here for all 3 of them. I'm really surprised by Neve. Like, I did not expect for Neve to be able to move like he does. So we'll see. So you guys make sure you tune in to Dancing with the Stars, happening tonight on ABC. And shout out to Anne Heche, who I absolutely love. Like, she's that auntie that you can't wait to get to the barbecue because you know she's about to be a little tipsy and is going to try to do the wobble and fail. All right. So y'all, that has been Tony's Take. Listen, if you guys want to hear my take on any of the hot topics, go ahead and send me your thoughts. I will gladly give you all of my thoughts on the latest and greatest that are currently happening. So you guys stick around because we have more show coming up. We have a little Kiki with my friends. It's more, please.
I just started my first talk show with an apology. I'm so Canadian. Okay. It's very hard for me not to apologize for that apology. Hi, this is Hump Day with Hampshire. I'm Emily Hampshire. This is my first virtual talk show. It's my first anything talk show.
It started as a cough or maybe a sneeze. Now here we are in quarantine. And if you act, dance, play, or sing, chances are you're on the couch not doing a thing. So watch Hump Day with Hampshire. Have some fun before we retire. Take a little break from the quagmire. It's Hump Day with Hampshire.
And if anyone's tuning in right now, they're like, this is the weirdest show I've ever seen.
Literally, we're going to think that they're on some psychotropic Friends.
All right, y'all. Now listen, you can't have a Kiki without friends, so let's have a Kiki.
Hey!
Joining me today are my lovely friends. We have Kyndra, Rowena, and Bradley. Hey, y'all. How are you?
Hey, Tony.
Good. Thank you guys so much for joining me on the first More Please, brought to you by my kind friends, Chester and Andy. So listen, we have been stuck in this quarantine a lot longer than we should have. And so I wanted to talk about how we are at this point just pushing through this quarantine. What were your thoughts at the beginning of the quarantine? Anyway, we'll start with you, Kyndra.
Okay, so I have two kids. They are 5 and 7. So when we came back from spring break, I was in Michigan. I'm located in North Carolina, but we were in Michigan visiting my grandfather. And so that March 15th, right? That's when everything shut down. So I drove home from Michigan with no idea what was happening, what was going on, nothing. All we knew was we were not going to school on Monday. And we didn't know for how long. And so I was just kind of shocked and didn't know what to think. I just was like, okay, extra long spring break. We could do this.
Mm-hmm.
It was just kind of shocking, really.
Yeah. Rowena?
Well, I was, again, same, kind of blissfully unaware of anything. I work in entertainment, I work in casting, we work with background and getting a bunch of people together on a set and all of a sudden people started to be like, oh, well, we're going to cancel this show and we're going to cancel this work day. And oh yeah, we don't know what's happening with this thing. So let me take a minute. And then all of a sudden March hit and they were like, no, shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. And everything, Hollywood was like, shut. They shut it up and closed it down. And I got put on furlough on my job on the 13th. And I had no clue when I was coming back, no clue. So strangely enough, I didn't panic. I was just like, okay, I'll just have to wait and see. Let's see what happens. And that's where I was in the beginning.
Yeah. What about you, Bradley?
So I live in Nashville and I was actually out of town. I had just left on March 2nd to go out of town and direct a show because I work in theater. And so all of it started to unravel and I was not home. I was in a city I did not know. And I was with people I had just met. So it was very, very strange to feel like I'm not home when the world is kind of falling apart. So the show I directed, we actually rehearsed the entire thing and it never opened. And we left to go home because it was I think it was the 20th of March. And when rehearsals, we were like, are we still doing this even though the world's falling apart around us? It was strange. But they were like, let's rehearse it all the way through. When this is, over and better, we'll just come back and throw it up and do this whole thing. So we all went home and that show still 6 months later has never opened. So that's where we are.
That is so, I hate that because you put in so much work into a show and now ain't nobody gonna see it.
Well, and it was weird because I think like it was a fantastic group of professional actors, and it was a very small show. So like daily we felt kind of safe because we were only really around each other. But yeah, it was like I think all like about 2 weeks in, our minds just kind of checked out. Like we're just not people who check out on things, but there was just so much going on and so much unsurety. Like just in the beginning, you know, we'd hear stories about people not being able to say goodbye to their loved ones because they were you know, like, and it was just like all that was running through your head every single day. It was just very scary.
Yeah, y'all, I thought this was going to be a great staycation. I was like, this is what I've been asking for. Like, I can sit at home. And I work in nightlife. So I remember, I think March 14th for me was like, I was still at the club, still, you know, promoting my happy hour. I wasn't touching anybody because I'm a hugger. Like, I love to see people and hug, but I was very much like this and very much giving the matrix, you know, to make sure no one was touching. And then March 16th, everything shut down. And I immediately went into, all right, let's stay productive. Let's stay active. So I put myself on a schedule. I was doing my IG live shows. I was working out. Like I was keeping it moving because my first thought was, don't get into this habit of not waking up with some sort of purpose. Like you want to wake up and just like keep moving. And then in about a month, we'll be back at it. Well, 6 months later, here we are, still in our house, still asking people to wear masks. Like, but I hit a moment where I did become unmotivated. And I didn't know what to do. And I was lost. And I didn't know this Tony because all of a sudden this Tony was sitting on the couch just watching TV, sometimes in the dark. And I don't do that. Like I always like as soon as the sun goes down, a light comes on because I don't know if I'm still scared of the boogeyman or something's gonna get me. But like suddenly I'm just in this like uncharted territory. Like did any of y'all feel that at one point?
Yeah, I called it the sunken place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was really strange because I felt like at the beginning, people jumped on the like, I want to be creative instantly bandwagon. And like, I was kind of like, hey y'all, I need a minute. Like I wasn't ready. Like my brain never stopped, but I wasn't ready to like start doing stuff right away. Like I just needed a minute. Like I felt like we were in that place, like you said, the sunken place. It was weird, but yeah, there were days where I was like, all I want to do is lay on the sofa and watch like binge whatever I can binge. And that's all I can manage today.
Yeah.
Yo, I rewatched season 2 of NBC Smash. Like that's where I was.
You went way back. You did.
I was like, I need a happy place. And I was like,
yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, not season 2. The whole season 1 and 2. Like I just spent days just watching it back because I needed something to take me to like a different place than what I already was. Like I needed to shut down and just not be present for a second.
Our school district really, really knocked it out of the park and like got our kids on virtual learning quickly. So I was very thankful for that, but it almost didn't give me time to process. And so all of a sudden I am like an executive assistant at home. I won't say that I'm a school teacher because I'm not creating the lesson plans or anything, but I was, oh, you have a Zoom meeting and you have this and here's your lunch. And I remember my daughter, she's very witty. And I said, Mommy's going to be your teacher. And she said, yeah, you're going to be the lunch lady too. And I was like, what? You're right. I'm going to be the lunch lady and your PE teacher. And so I just felt like I had all these hats on and I found myself like, one day I put like 4 empty bottles of wine in the recycle bin. And I was like,
yeah,
you might watch that. You know, you do have children. Like, so I remember it was April 6th, and I'm not really a scale. Like, I don't get on the scale, but I got on the scale in my bathroom, and I had gained like almost 10 pounds from March 15th to April 6th. Yep. And I'm an aspiring actress. I audition all the time, but we know that life. So I was like, my agent will kill me if I gain 45 pounds over the next however long we're not working. So that was my turning point of, oh gosh, you cannot eat and drink your sorrows and your stresses away. And so I just put down the wine. And
Oh, good for you. I wish you
ended
had
up
a house like
losing
that.
24 pounds,
Yeah.
which was great. Kind of a byproduct of not spiraling into, the pantry every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Y'all, my new thing was eating rainbow chip frosting out of the can.
Oh, man.
Rainbow chip is
Man.
legit. Like that's
It's so good, right? Yeah.
Like, it's good.
It's so much sugar.
Well, yeah, but until you are like dipping the spoon in and just licking the spoon while sitting on the couch watching season 1 of NBC Smash, I think you realize that life has hit a different low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I work from home. Okay. So I was already in my house working 8 to however many hours a day. But my saving grace was I could go out at night. I could go out, I could do things, interact with people. Did I do that very often? No, but I had the choice.
Yeah.
And when that choice was removed, it became a whole different ballgame. It became, how do I keep myself sane? And I'm always meditating and like trying to like keep myself centered. And that was my main focus. But like you, Kyndra, I grabbed for the bottle. I was like, oh, what does it matter? The world's ending. Woo!
Yeah.
But it spins you off in a really bad direction really fast. So it was really important for me to keep it together and try to somehow stay on task, which is staying sane and not losing it completely. So
Yeah. What was the turning point for y'all? Because you don't want to stay in that sunken space for too long. And the world is still happening somewhat, and life is still somewhat moving forward. But here you are in this place that you've never been in before. What was the moment that you all went, I need to get out of this? And what did you do to get out of it?
I think I just got tired of not doing anything, to be honest with you. I think for me, having been away, coming home, and at the beginning, it was all about 14 days. And I was like, if I can make it 14 days without getting sick, like, because that's like, the period of time. Because in the beginning, that's all I could think about for some reason. So after that 14 days hit, I was like, all right, now maybe I can work through some of these ideas in my brain. So I started doing these things that I call the Thursday Read on Facebook Live, where I bring in a bunch of actors and we read famous movie scripts every Thursday. It started off as like, here's a way that we can all do some like kind of theater with each other during this time, short period of time. Well, this week's our 23rd week. So it's kind of progressed into something that's taken on a life of its own. And I've really enjoyed it a lot. Last week we did Beetlejuice. This week we're doing The Witches, the Roald Dahl.
I might have to tune in.
Which the remake is coming out in a couple weeks too. And then next week we're doing, speaking of the sunken place, we're doing Get Out next week. So it's been very cool, and it's been very neat because a lot of people I acted with when I was younger and in different cities have come into the fray. So now I'm like acting with people who I haven't talked to in 15 years and bringing them into like this little troupe. And it's every Thursday night on Facebook Live. And you can actually just go to my page and it's like a public feed. And it's been cool. And it's been something that I needed something I could look forward to every week, because I think that's important in life, hopefully for everybody. But that was the trouble, was at the beginning, there was nothing to look forward to. You were just waking up every day and either doing the same thing or just not doing anything at all. So this gave me that route to something to look forward to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm an Enneagram 7, if you know anything about the Enneagram. So I have like a huge like fear of missing out. And so when everything kind of shut down, it gave me like permission to miss out and not be afraid of it. And so for me, my turning point was my pastor. I go to Elevation Church in North Carolina, and they have a great online platform. So we didn't miss a beat with being able to go to church. But he preached a sermon called A New Normal, and it really like shifted my mentality about I don't have to long for the way things used to be. I can look forward to a changed life, a different, and I can come out of this better than I was before. What is God trying to teach me in this season? And so I started reading books on audio tape. I started, I don't know, anything I could do to pass the time I would do. I was, helping my kids. I started crafting. I've always been into crafting, but I just started making more crafts and doing more things. Where I'm sitting now is we've turned it into a craft room. It used to be a playroom, but we dismantled the playroom and painted the walls, and I moved all my craft supplies in. So
There's a lot of.
We did outdoor projects that we haven't done in years, and we built a wall in our backyard that separates us from the neighbors. And so I don't know, it gave me permission to stay home and not be sad about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just a social butterfly, and so I always felt like if I wasn't on the go and I wasn't busy, I wasn't doing it right.
Yeah.
So
that's what's happening a lot. Like I think a lot of people are finding like projects that they've wanted to do and haven't been able to do, and now they're doing it. There have been so many HGTV like projects that have happened in people's houses. I'm like, either y'all are flipping houses now and I don't know about it, or you're just finally getting to that room or that closet that you've been, trying to get to.
For sure.
Yeah. What about you, Rolo?
Well, for me, as I was saying, I was really struggling with it because I couldn't find that creative outlet. I couldn't find that purpose in my home. I had a whole backyard project from the moment I moved into my apartment in California years ago. I was like, oh my God, this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time. And it never got done. And it made me feel like crap about myself. And I was like, oh my God, you're a loser. You're so lazy. Get up. And then the George Floyd situation happened and the world exploded again. And I was like, my mother lives in Georgia. She's been here for 10 years. I stayed in Los Angeles. I finished my degree. I kept working, and I was always trying to find a way to get out and to move, to be closer to her, not just to be closer to her, but for also a change. And I never knew how. How was I going to do that with my job? I can't quit my job. I need my health insurance. I can't do this. I need that. It was never happening. I was on this hamster wheel. And then all of this happened, and the hamster wheel stopped. And I was like, wait, I can get off. I can really get off and go. I can run. Now's the time, go. So I made a plan right after the George Floyd incident to move at the end of June. I left June 29th. It was end of May when all that started. Yeah. And no, not end of May, sorry. I'm sorry, whatever weekend it was, I don't have it. But yes, it took me a month to pack all of my life into a car, ship the rest, and drive across country through COVID-infested states, staying in hotels in those cities, into the South, into all of this craziness. But I got it done, and it's been the most wonderful decision I've ever made. I'm so happy about it.
That's amazing.
Good. And for me, I had to change my surroundings. I realized that I wasn't putting my energy into things that I should. And I was also just taking in a lot of information and seeing a lot of things via social media and the news and everything that really affected me. And once I recognized that and remembered my value and my worth, everything just kind of shifted. For me, which was really good. And I got out of that rut, out of that place, and I refound who I was. And I feel 10 times better. I had to unfollow the thirst traps. I had to, eliminate certain people and some of the things that I was seeing in order to just feel better about me. And I think that during this quarantine, we've all had to make some sort of change or some sort of decision so that we can be better.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And and that's totally fine. And so I hope that anyone who's paying attention to this Kiki will realize that if you're in that place, just make a decision that works best for you to get yourself out of that place, and make sure you surround yourself with people who love, respect, value, and respect you. So that way you can push through this quarantine, because we don't know how much longer we're going to be in this.
No.
Right?
Lord Jesus, if you want to get out, make sure you go vote. That's on my only little political thing I'm going to plug.
Yes.
Go vote.
Yes.
Yes. Well, y'all, that was a quick Kiki.
The great Kiki.
I thank you guys so much for coming on and hopefully enlightening people and making people realize that we really are in this together, and we all have different ways that we've dealt with this. So thank you guys so much, and I hope that people take away something from this. So I appreciate y'all.
Thanks.
Of course. So, hey, you guys don't go anywhere because your mug might be empty, but I have a little bit more. There's more please, coming up.
Hi, I'm Chester McCurry, and this is The Q. So, I mean, we could have our first gay president in 20. Well,
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I feel like it ruined me because it gave me this false reality of, you get married to the man of your dreams, the Prince Charming.
I actually wanted to be the first gay man in the White House. I wanted to be the first gay president. That was my dream.
Honey, I'm pretty sure
that
even before you were born,
there
was
gay
some
men in the
queen
White
in the White House
In that White House
wearing
with a wig
her
out.
heels, with a wig out. That's why, and you know what? That's why they call it the wig party.
Yes, I mean, aren't we supposed to have flying cars right now? We ain't got no flying cars. Ain't this supposed to be the Jetson time right now?
Believe me, when I was watching the Jetsons,
and not one of us was on it. You either.
Yeah, I thought for
There was
sure.
a couple of you, Chester.
Yeah.
But none of us.
Now listen, your mugs might be empty, but guess what? I got a little bit more for you. So as we were talking about the quarantine, I want to shout out my friend Jonathan, who during my Zoom dance party that I created, because y'all know that I'm always doing the most, he did this adorable face that I truly appreciate during my WAP challenge. And just seeing this reminded me that make sure you have people in your life that truly support you, truly care for you, and will root for you no matter what you do. So make sure you find your Jonathan, because Jonathan, I appreciate you. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to More Please. That was episode 1. We'll be back next week for more tea. You want more? Come back. It's More Please.